Hello and welcome to MiceCast with your hosts Greg, Mike, and
You're damn right.
good buddy Shaft. So here we are. We got more subjects to talk about. Today, it's going to be this great idea that Disney is now for adults, not families, and Disney is actively catering to Disney adults. But before we get into that, someone has a shout out.
Yes, I do. Met a young lady in Fullerton about 2 weeks ago or so, and she's a lab technician that I was visiting at the lab, named Jasmine. And we were talking, and as Jasmine was telling me, she was a cast member at Disneyland for 9 years in merchandise. And we kept talking a little bit, and then I made the comment about MiceCast. She goes, I love that show. I listened to all the shows, and then she just looked at me and she goes, "You're Shaft." And I go,
Were you
yeah.
bouncing on your chair or something? Did you recognize the movement?
That's awesome.
No, at the moment she has a needle stuck in my arm and she's taking some blood from me. She's a phlebotomist.
Yikes.
So
It's
but yeah. She's studying for her RN, but yeah. So it's just one of those off the wall comments. I listened to that show and instantly didn't recognize the voice. So
that's awesome.
Hello, Jasmine.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for not messing up Richard's blood draw.
So, anyways.
All right. So Disney is now for adults, not for families. And Disney is actively catering to Disney adults.
Yes.
That is Greg's position.
I would say that's a fair statement.
Okay, and the reason this comes up is we are getting close to having a new attraction. What's it called? It's the
Coco.
No, not Coco. Coco will be a family ride. The
Stark.
Stark
Flight
Lab.
Okay, yeah. All right. Which is
now
behind Tower Terror.
Excuse me. Personally, I have not seen
Mission Breakout.
This ride mechanism anywhere else because I have not been to the parks that people in the comments are claiming are already using this ride technology. So before we get into more of the Disney's for adults now and not the kids thing, I want to address that portion because I'm not familiar with that, and I don't believe Disney is just copying somebody else. They obviously probably are copywriting very specific things in this attraction. What potentially is different about this than what others have done that are similar in nature?
Okay. You've been to Legoland, right?
I have been to the California Legoland. Let's see, Vincent's 30 now. He was 12, maybe 10 at the time. It's been a while.
I'm pretty sure Legoland is an attraction based on this technology too.
Legoland is an attraction, or there was an attraction at Legoland?
I'm going to go see if it's still there, but there was an attraction. The last time I was at Legoland when my kid, 15 years ago, there was an attraction based on this technology as well.
Well, I'll say I've seen the technology because this was what they used in a lot of different flight simulators for pilot training. Was a very similar type of big armature, except it was enclosed so that you had the interior.
This ride system is robots that build cars that get repurposed to make rides.
Right.
Every flight simulator I've seen, from the one I flew, the SR-71, to the F-16, to the ones at Fighter Town in, where is that, Mission Viejo or over there somewhere, are all basically like Star Tours, multiple piston type.
Three axis gimbals.
Yeah. Now, if you look closely at this picture, Richard, this is like an arm that throws you around. Nothing to do with.
I was looking at.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw the pictures you sent, and I've actually seen the pictures that the company has put out too. No, their is a flight simulator I saw that was in a professional sense. It was meant for, I don't know if it was for fighter pilots or for commercial pilots, but it was the same type of technology, but it had a dome across the front of it that was the screen that the pilots would be looking at, and it was being able to throw the different G forces going on it.
Because we know the SR-71 and F-16 simulators weren't for professionals, you know.
No, well, that's fine. If you want to go that, I've flown a DC-9 and I've flown, Cessna Piper and all that. You know what? They don't move at all because
I know.
it's all instrument training. They're all looking at the maps and on the monitors on what I'm doing. So
the KC-135 simulator I flew was like that. The SR moved, but there was nothing to see out the windows. And the guy's like, "What the fuck? You think you're going to see at 80,000 feet?"
Yeah, but
I'm like, "You're right."
But I will say,
go ahead, Richard.
I feel very confident if I ever had to fly a DC-9 or an MD-80 or something like that. So
good.
So the Kuka arm ride at Legoland closed because
problems,
maintenance issue, and they couldn't get. According to this one Reddit thread, they couldn't get whatever part they needed, so they just ripped it out.
This sounds like an excuse that I got from my brother-in-law, Knott's, when Accelerator was closed for, it felt like years. It might have been a year and a half, 2 years. They couldn't get the parts from Germany or whatever. I'm like, really? Seriously? You're gonna? I just
in this
find
days of FedEx and UPS,
I find it hard to believe. Now there was, after 2020, we did have some supply issues, but it sounds absurd. It sounds more like you're not willing to pay, you're waiting. You ever heard of, backward engineering? I mean, have someone make it here, unless there was a liability issue.
I'm sure it's got a like a protected status. Not say copyright or
I get you. But that thing's so old, I wouldn't think any, let's say warranty would still be there. But who knows? I don't know how that works, but it just seemed absurd they couldn't get a part for like 2 years.
I'm going to find out when that ride opened too. But anyway, go ahead. Go on.
Which one? Accelerator?
No, the one this Kuka arm system. Okay. So 2005 to 2019 was when it was.
And I want to say we were there before that because it was before I took him to Disney World, which was in 2005 for his first time. I think we were, and I already thought he was too old because most of the kids were a lot younger. I thought the park was horribly maintained. There was a lot wrong with that park, and their Lego store sucked. For being in Legoland, their Lego store sucked. Didn't have a lot of things at all.
It had I remember you can select intensity levels 1 to 5. And so it ran for 14 years. So
again, let's be fair to Disney for a second. There is hardly anything in the park, like when it opened, for example, that wasn't a variant or a outright purchase of an existing ride system or something they adapted to make it work for them. There were very few from scratch ride systems. The Utopia, but I mean, it's a car. Come on. You get a car designer and at first I didn't have a track. They just let it run wild. Well,
carousel, right? That's off the shelf anywhere you want.
Yeah. They just bought an old carousel there.
The dark rides, the ride system of a dark ride, that seems like that was not.
I'm not sure you'd find a whole lot of difference between it and. Well, I'm sure they were scratch built, but any dark ride at any fair or other park, it was around. I don't think it was anything spectacular.
Oh, okay, all right. New. So you're just saying they took something that they knew about and just built their own version of it.
Sure, Dumbo. Tell me you haven't seen that ride with 100 different variations long before Disney opened. So, because it's what do you call it? A Coco arm?
Kuka, Kuka.
Okay, I've got some things that attach to my camera system is very similar. You got multi joints where you can kind of move it into whatever place you want. So so what I'm kind of getting at is, okay, fine. It's other people have used it. So when we're getting this ad here for first look at insane new Disney ride tech, what is different? Because they're advancing this cuckoo arm.
Cuckoo. That's good enough. Close enough. Robot arm, right? If you don't want to try to say the proper name, it's a robot arm, right?
Yeah. Before we get to the real theme, I kind of want to get the behind of this actual attraction that everybody says they're just copying somebody else. How long has this been in development? We talked about who stole from who opening the Hollywood theme parks in Florida. Did one just make it there first? Were they both working on it at the same time? Is Disney more picky? They've been waiting to perfect what they want to do with this magic arm. I don't know. So that's what I was trying to get through, because it looks cool, but I was not aware that anybody else was doing this, because I have not rode those particular attractions at those other parks.
And there was a similar concept available at Epcot where you can. We talked about this offline, but
we did, and I never experienced that. So
I want to say it was called Some of All Thrills. Some of All Thrills, Epcot, yeah. Innovations, full ride.
Like Some of All Fears?
Yeah, robotic arm virtual roller coaster. And there's all kinds of, and this was going on when you were there. It opened in 2009 and closed in 2016.
So I went in 2005 the first time. Probably didn't. Well, not for the first time. I went in 80. Well, missed it by a hair.
I know what you meant. I'm talking about in the modern times.
And where was it located?
Innovations. East.
Probably a long line of snot-nosed, bratty, yelly kids, and I probably just passed on it.
Well, didn't you go with any children?
I did, but they weren't snot-nosed, bratty. They might be yelling and bouncing off the walls.
Did they want to ride it though?
I don't even think they knew about it. We didn't spend a lot.
You did. Okay, wait. Tangent here. You're the one that says when we go to Florida, you go ride everything. You go see everything, right? Otherwise, you don't get enough return on your investment. Why would you walk right by this and not use it?
Okay, I've went through Innovations, and the last time I went through it, it's hard to put into words what I'm seeing in my head of what I remember seeing there. Like a giant warehouse, it kind of reminded me of. In one corner, might be a little playhouse with some grass on the ground. You walk a little pathway. Then there was some other stupid thing for kids to do to burn off some energy. I don't remember this as a standout thing. If it was a line that went behind a wall and you didn't see these things, I don't know. I don't remember seeing it. I'll have to look it up and see if it rings any kind of bell. And obviously the guys that we went to with the DPN gave no two shits about it and thinking it was anything good, because no one ever suggested to go ride this thing.
No, I know. I didn't ride it.
But again, how big was it? These things look gigantic. They're in a big giant warehouse. Was this thing like something you'd see at Pier 39? I mean, I remember you laugh, but I remember seeing a simulator. I was on Pier 39. This is like 20 years ago when it was still safe. And the shops are still open. And there was this simulator that maybe 1 to 2 people could fit in, and it said iWorks on it. I'm like, damn, they're making like this mini version of Star Tours or something,
I dropped a picture in the signal, a link to a picture.
Okay, I'll look at it. So right now, I'm kind of rage baiting on the topic we talked about on the last show. On the site it was applied to. But okay, so let's just assume other people have done a similar attraction and forget about the merits of whether or not Disney's copying anybody and just move on to the subject topic. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
No.
So this will probably be an exciting attraction. I have to say, because I've saw some videos early on of the movement, and I have to wonder if it's for everybody. I have to say that. And it's going to have a height limit. And speaking of height limits, have you heard that the height limit is being lowered on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
From
40 to
or
like
42?
40 to like 36, 38, somewhere in
Which
there.
is same. Isn't that the same as Matterhorn?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I worried about height
Yeah, same.
restrictions.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
with
don't
you.
understand. Personally, I've never thought, not that I felt unsafe on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but I've always wondered why there isn't a seatbelt.
Just a lap bar.
Just the lap bar, which if you have a small, I'm a bigger guy, and I haven't always been so much in the middle, but still tall guy. And when my kids were smaller, that
They
lap bar
slid all over
stopped
the seats.
way beyond. I had to just kind of put my arm around them and hope for the best. Hope they didn't launch out. They said they were tall enough to ride it, but that lap. So what I try to do was cross my legs to spread my legs out so I could lower it as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
Which uncomfortable for me, but better for the child.
Felt safer
Oh,
with the kids.
That's the old height requirement was low. Matterhorn now is 42 inches.
Is it really? Wow.
Oh, wow.
But Big Thunder, this was going around the social media influencer crowd that, they had to be the first one to tell you after 30 people had already told me.
All right. So,
So-
the shortest. Do you want to guess what the shortest? Do we need whip around?
Sure.
What ride has the shortest height requirement?
Oh. Well, there are attractions that have no height requirement. So
I'm talking about ones that there is a height
Have-
requirement. Can you guess what the minimum is? The one that has the shortest.
either Millennium or Rise of Resistance. I have a feeling those are pretty low.
Richard.
Jeez,
Bueller,
it's been so long.
Bueller.
It's been so long since I've been in there. I'm trying to think of, because I'm thinking Carousel, no. Dumbo, no. What is it? I don't.
You're not even gonna venture a guess, huh?
Pirates.
Okay.
I
It
don't-
doesn't have
you
a
know-
restriction.
You know the Pirates doesn't have a right. Okay, so the height requirement, the shortest one is 32 inches, and that is to be the additional rider on Autopia.
Utopias have a height restriction?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I don't remember
They've had them
ever
for quite a
having
few
one.
years. They had them
Really?
for-
Uh,
wasn't always, but they have had them now for quite a few years.
and if you want to ride alone, it's 54 inches.
Wow.
The next up, 36 inches, 35 inches, Gadgets Go Coaster.
Okay, I
That's-
didn't even think about that one. Yeah.
Then Smugglers at 38. And then 40 inches is now Big Thunder, Space, Tiana's, Star Tours, and Rise. Matterhorn Bobsled's 42, 46 inches for Indiana Jones. That's Disneyland. So yeah, you're right that this Stark's Flight Lab, unless they do a thing like they did at Legoland where you can pick the level of your intensity, I don't think it's going to be for everybody either.
No, and this is kind of my thing, kind of looking at what's being developed in the parks, whether or not they are directly trying to compete with Universal. And, there's a whole crowd out there talking about the competition. We've touched on this a little bit before, that there are some Disney people who have no interest in Universal. I think you mentioned your wife and family. They're going to Disney or going to Florida for Disney. They're not really thinking, let's go to Universal.
Epic's changed that though.
Has
Epic
it? They have interest now?
I'm not getting shut down right away when I bring it
Okay.
up.
Okay.
So it's a crack. It's a crack in the armor that
Sure. But you guys don't usually burst the bubble and go to the outside world when you're there either, do you?
done it once.
And where'd you go?
It was just me and the boy. We went to Kennedy Space Center.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. We always do outside the bubble day, St. Augustine. That's a long drive, but we did it. The Cape,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah, it's like there's more than just shoving Disney down our throat for 7 days. But I don't know. I never thought of Disney and Universal being true competitors. Or not for that matter. I think each is uniquely onto their own. Some people would prefer the parks that have more thrill rides, or let's say Magic Mountain. The people who just want thrill rides aren't going to Disneyland. They're probably going to Magic Mountain. If they want the big thrill, they're going there.
Or Islands of Adventure in Florida, right? That's a thrill ride place.
Yeah. So I know theoretically, the big wigs in Burbank, they're looking at it for competition and, people through the gates. And I heard this today. This is interesting for Steven Spielberg. Supposedly he entered a agreement with Universal that does not apply to Hollywood because the park was already there, but he helped with the development of Florida, supposedly, according to this post, that he makes anywhere between $2 to $3 per ticket sold at the Universal parks, which they estimated he's making probably $50 million a year just off of that consulting.
All right, let's make the number easy. $2 a head.
Okay.
That's 25. There's got to be more than 25 million visitors a year.
No,
Florida?
Disneyland does just shy of 15.
Yeah, but it's a small park in Southern California. Universal is a big place and a place where loads of tourists go.
Again, I don't know how they came to their conclusion.
Yeah.
But that's the conclusion they were posting. Maybe it doesn't apply to. Maybe he's not involved with one of those parks. I don't know. Maybe it's just the Universal movie theme park. Maybe not Islands of Adventure. He didn't get into the weeds there, but just that a good deal to help consult. Now, personally, if you wanted to say, "Oh, damn, he is such a good ride designer," I would say bullshit, because I've thought Jurassic Park could be so much better. I thought it was a cheap thrill at best. Jurassic Park is not that great of an attraction.
Yeah, it's the little float this way, go up the thing, turn around, come right back down.
I guess I was way off.
So much better. It could have been so much better. What were you way off on?
Universal.
On their attendance?
Yeah. Just the Studios Florida is 10 million. IOE 10 million.
And this again plays to my competition between the two parks. As long as Disney doesn't turn into what I saw at Legoland, which was literally trash piled up next to the trash can because nobody emptied it. Long lines, or I can't call them cast members, employees who didn't seem like they gave two shits about, most people in line. As long as they don't, they're getting close, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, yes.
They're not what they used to be. But Disney still has an image that people go for before they go to Universal. Now, with that said, I can't deny that things like Harry Potter Land is not going to draw some people, but I don't think it's going to draw people away from Disney. Anybody who likes Harry Potter is probably nerdy enough to like most of the stuff in the Disney stables, and are going to go there also. So it's not like it's drawing them away. Now, would the monster ride, this new one about the Universal Monsters, draw people away from Disney? I don't think so, because that's something completely different. You'd have to be really an old horror film guy to really like a lot of those. A lot of people look at the old Bela Lugosi's as, what the hell is that? Why is this scary? Oh, there's a shadow on the wall. They don't appreciate old cinema.
Yeah, and I think sound and music had a lot to do with building tension for that. But Hollywood Studios Florida, same attendance numbers as both Universal parks.
Okay,
right around 10 million, maybe a hair over.
And they're not huge parks to begin with, so it's not like they're going to just hold a ton of people. And go ahead, Richard.
I was going to say, going back to the original question, though, is Disney cutting out all of its whole? Are you okay? Do we have a drinking problem now?
No, that second gulp was starting to spill. I don't want to
can't breathe
waste
and
a
drink
drop
at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste a drop.
But is Disney trying to compete to the point that it's sacrificing its family environment to where it's being teens and 20s and it's dropping off the other ends of the spectrum?
Yeah, and who doesn't have money, right? But
Yeah.
the assertion is Disney adults. Disney adults have money to spend. Well, no, we also talked about they go into debt to go to Disney vacation. Remember we had a show about that.
Yeah.
Right. But the Disney adult is someone that's, Disney can't do a whole lot of wrong in the theme park front.
Well, let's take that. Let's take that up. Your Disney adults, I would kind of classify that as someone that's even closing into our age, that is just so filled with pixie dust. They just have to go to Disney 5 to 6 days every week and everything. But that's not necessarily the person that's going to be going on this type of attraction.
I don't think so. I
don't know. You were saying people our age that have some free time are not going to be riding this?
No, I'm saying some are, but I think some of them are going to be going more towards, I don't know. I could be completely wrong because I've known a lot of people that go on to a lot of the Omnimover attractions, Mansion, even Buzz Lightyear. I knew a guy that would show up, annual pass holder. He'd show up 4 or 5 days a week, and his big thing was he would go on to Buzz Lightyear a couple times trying to beat the score on there,
and then go home.
And then go home. Yeah, he'd come in at opening at 8 in the morning, and he'd be going home about 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I just looked at the picture you put of that attraction. Nothing about that attraction or that room even looks vaguely familiar. Seriously. Well, you know what? It's very possible. And I do like to write everything. You go into Innovations once and you see what a sad thing it become after you saw it in the 80s, and you just walk by it unless you needed some air conditioning. And that's probably what happened. But back to Richard's point, I do believe, it depends on how intense this is, whether or not people will write it. I see so many freaking whiners online that either can't ride Mission Space Orange, or is it green? I forgot which one's the intense.
It's the
orange is intense. Green means go.
The first time I wrote it, you didn't have a choice.
Correct.
It was what it was. It was great.
And neither did the 4-year-old that it killed.
Well, didn't we find out that 4-year-old had pre-existing conditions?
Well,
almost everybody that's died on an attraction, other than the ones that jumped, stood up. Indiana Jones had somebody, I think, that had a heart attack.
A boat cleat go through.
I'm pretty sure the dude on the dock didn't have a pre-existing condition before the cleat went through his brain.
His pre-existing condition was standing where he was standing.
But
what I'm saying,
don't stand on the dock.
A lot of these attractions that have warnings, like there's no warning. Watch for cleats on that one. Indiana Jones, for example, I seem to remember 20-something, maybe a little younger. Somebody died on Indy. Well,
really?
There's warnings.
Yeah.
Clear warnings. I've got a bad back, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to sue Disney because there's, whether it's documented here at the VA, it's documented I've got a bad back.
Well, that's like
I would rather ride.
It's all documented with Disney.
Yeah. I would rather ride Matterhorn, I think, than Indy right now.
Oh.
Matterhorn, I can see what's coming. I can prepare for it. And I've seen, I can't stand the whiners I see online that complain about the Matterhorn. Nobody complains about Indy, but all these 30-somethings that say they need a chiropractor after riding the Matterhorn or Magic Kingdom Space Mountain. Granted, they're made by the same people, very similar rides.
And it's the same problem with both of them. When they went to single seats, they raised it up, changing your
this complaint's been going on long before that. It's just it's a rougher attraction It's probably the roughest attraction in both parks.
Matterhorn
And of the roller coasters,
Magic Kingdom Space Mountain.
Okay,
are the roughest probably.
Yes, Indy is a rough ride, right? But it's like this. It's like this. It's back and forward. Some acceleration.
Have you ridden it since you've had back surgery?
What, Indy?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you felt okay?
Yeah. Matterhorn has jolts that go down.
Yeah.
And that compresses your spine, and that hurts more. The Matterhorn jolts are up and down, and you feel like you're landing.
Indy has
like
ups and downs too. I find
Indy tilts forward, tilts back, tilts side.
And again, it depends on the day and how I'm feeling. I think this is now Space Mountain. I've pretty much almost memorized the layout,
and it's smoother. It's smoother.
Well, ours is very smooth.
Yes,
but I can look at the Matterhorn and anticipate, and I've ridden enough to know where the harder bumps are, where the dips are. To me, if I can see what's coming, I can anticipate if I need to bear down or whatever. Indy, if you're like enjoying something over here and it like, flips and moves and you're like not always prepared for those things as you're trying to, take it all in. But that's my personal experience. But there's just a lot of whiners out there about some of these rides. And you're going to bring this out. If it's smooth and you can't tell you're moving, personally on like Mission Space, I can't feel when it's spinning up. It just works for me.
You're not supposed to feel the spin. That's the point. Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That was the only thing I felt it immediately.
Of course you did. The only thing that was wrong on that attraction, they cheaped out on the video screen. Give me something real, not these old graphics. Even in the day, those graphics were behind.
They cheaped out, but
I wonder though, is there physiologically, if you made it like a photoreal as real as it could be, and with the movement, could there be some other inner ear? Is it dumbed down for a reason? I never, I've thought about that before.
That's a good question.
Well, you can't get true weightlessness, right? Even though they do a fairly decent job of, the thing is spinning, and when it goes to weightlessness, it's the spin comes off quickly enough.
Yes.
That you get a sense of it, but it's still a spin stopping. It is not the absence of weight.
You're also changing the respective attitude of how you're laying down in the system.
It pitches, yeah.
Now, so that's where the illness will come, is because that's where I feel the spin is when it comes off.
And speaking of, you went to the Cape.
I did.
Was it before or after the shuttle simulator was installed out there?
I don't remember.
You didn't ride it. How can you go to some place and not ride the rides that are there?
What rides?
The Space Shuttle Simulator.
I don't remember Space Shuttle Simulator.
It literally pushes you on your back. I was asking Matt. Matt came out and he was in Vegas with us. I had a great time. Matt's a fun guy to hang around with. And he hasn't ridden it yet. I understand for him, it's an hour and a half. So let's say to Disney, it'd be like 3 hours probably to get over to the Cape from his place. But he's got a new car coming up that may be fun and interesting.
So what time? I want to say I went to the Cape in 2012.
Okay, well, let's see.
So the space shuttles they weren't flying anymore in 2012, were they? But there was no space. I don't remember Space Shuttle Simulator. And it probably would have been another freaking $20 a head to ride it. So,
okay. So now you're putting a monetary thing on whether or not you'll ride or ride.
And time. I ran out of time. We didn't see everything.
It opened in May 25th, 2007. As far as I know, it is still operating.
Probably is.
And they say it's really good. I've really wanted to ride it. It doesn't matter. You're right. There's a lot to see at the Cape, and back when I saw it in '75, it's such a different tour than when Richard went with me in '86. Even that now they've really disjointed the tours and stuff. It's even more different.
86 when we went, that's when they split off and we did the historical tour of the old Cape Canaveral Air Force Base.
Yeah, but when I went in '75, everything. You just got
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, it had everything in there?
You had to
Oh,
pick.
yeah.
You had to pick which
Yes.
road course you wanted to take and which things you wanted to see.
Yeah.
And and when you roll up, they go, "Hey, vehicle assembly building's open today, so you want to make sure you take a tour that includes the vehicle assembly building because it's not open all the time."
That's such a cool building.
So I'm like, "Well, we're doing that one."
Yeah.
And that so it was vehicle assembly building, out to 39A, and then the runway, the end of the runway, where the shuttle lands out there, out that way.
Yeah.
And then they took you out to the snack bar area where the Apollo 18 Saturn V was hanging from the ceiling.
And then Saturn, yeah, I guess it is kind of hanging there, isn't it? Because there's one laying down in the, rocket.
But there's one outside, but this one was inside.
Inside, yeah. And I got some pictures. That's
and
actually
then,
a pretty good display. So let's not go dive deeply.
Okay,
What I was wondering,
check the time.
comparison wise, how intense that shuttle is, that shuttle simulator. So if anybody's ridden it that listens to us, let us know. I'm curious. But again, Coco's going to be a family attraction. I think we can all safely assume
Is
that's
it
going to be a family
Is it
attraction.
dark ride or is it like
I think I've understood it's going to be more like Pirates. It's a boat ride.
Oh, okay.
At least that's
Rio de Tiempo.
That's a family ride with the three amigos.
Yeah.
Or the three cameos, whatever they call them. Three amigos, sorry.
Now you have the kid, his dog, and his.
But think about it.
One
One of the biggest, let's say, demographics with money is these Gen Zers, who I just saw this interesting analogy on why they seem to be the dumbest of the generations lately. I mean that with all due. No, I don't.
I know exactly why.
Well, really, you should. Did I send it to both of you guys, or did I just send it to Richard? It was an interesting analogy. I'm trying to see the Coco is officially confirmed to be a boat ride.
Okay.
So I think we can safely assume it will be a family attraction.
Let's hope it's a little longer than the Navi River Journey or whatever that is up there. Florida.
Other people have told me how short it is too. And how long the line is. I guess the shortness wouldn't be a big deal if the line really flowed and got on, and but it can be very, very long. But when you think about the demographics, and I'm making a wild stab here, that a lot of the Disney adults that we see in the park, like they just had the Tiki Day. I think that's what they call it. Bat Day's coming up, and you see all these people taking their giant pictures. There might be 2-3 kids in there.
Oh yeah, they're all millennials.
They're either millennials with no kids, 2 incomes.
Yeah, mid-30s.
If they have income, a lot of them, I really do believe they're living in their mom's basement, and are on some social welfare program. But they're at the parks a lot. And I think Disney's forgot that they were designed not for kids, because I really hate that argument too.
No, it's for families. Everybody together.
For families. I remember seeing Walt interviewed by some news agency and said, "What about during the week? Well, that's when the oldies come. The kids are in school. And he called them the oldies, which I thought was funny. They get to enjoy the park with fewer kids running around, and they really enjoy it. You should see it. It's cute, couples walking around. And people have forgotten that because they think it's just like people assume all the movies Walt Disney made were for children because they were animated. I'm sorry, you watch like the first handful of animation features. These are not kid films.
Bambi's got some pretty serious themes.
Talk to Steven Spielberg. They terrified him.
Pinocchio, he's grabbing tits. He's flushing. The theme of the kids going and turning into donkeys and smoking and drinking. Now, yes, a kid could get a moral story from it. A lot of it will go right over his head, but a kid could go. But they were family films, and it's one of those things that grates on me a little bit with it's kid stuff. But the parks are a family park that are no longer family. So many attractions. Now, granted, it started with Walt and the Matterhorn when they separated the family. He always said he didn't want roller coasters, from what I understand, but the themed one worked out pretty good. But that started in motion, I believe.
Yeah.
And modern Disney has just, put nitrous on it, and seems like everything they want to do is non-family. Let's see. So what we're building now, right? We're building the Cars thing. There's a height limit, right? You're going to separate a
Yeah.
lot of smaller kids on that attraction, which probably more so, I think, than Radiator Springs. From what I've seen about the theming of that one, I would think it's a little more aimed at the younger kid than even Radiator Springs might be, or Radiator Racers. And you've got to separate the children. What else are they putting in? Oh, then the Villains Land. Do you think Villains Land's going to be really kid friendly? If they go all out and make it truly a Villains Land, they're going to scare the shit out of them youngins.
Richard, you got something to say?
Well, I was going to say, we're talking about Radiator Spring Racers. Yeah, that kind of separates you, but you still have Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, and you have Luigi's tire dancing, whether you've got the
you've given a 50-50 thing there, because that stupid Luigi's is the dumbest excuse for an attraction. Mater's is fun. Mater's is fun, and it's only fun listening to Mater.
Yes.
The attraction itself, kids probably like it. But Mater is funny as hell.
But that's one of those things.
My favorite
and the funny thing is it's on different levels too. Because,
yeah. Now, this reminds me of what first Six Flags did. And I'm talking locally, maybe around the world. Others had done it. Six Flags did it. They made a kids area. And that guy came to Knott's. He made the Snoopy area. Most of those attractions, now the biggest difference in those attractions is adults can't get on most of them. They truly are for children. There's only
kids only
3 maybe that adults can also go on. In Disney's case, with some of these childish rides, at least the adults can fit. Well, most adults can fit on those attractions. I'm wondering, those who fat test this new flinging around thing, how well they're gonna fit.
So you remember when the swings, the Silly Symphony swings, was called the Orange Stinger and had a weight limit on it, right?
It sure did.
Like, you can't more than 250 pounds. I'm like, what?
Yeah. At that time, I was a little.
But all of a sudden, becomes Silly Symphony swings, and the weight limit goes away.
Oh, they re-engineered those chains, I'm sure. Yeah,
that's right. They got them from they got them from Home Depot instead of Harbor Freight. Is that it?
There. Okay, maybe the only ride I can think of in California, the jelly things, kids only, right? An adult can't fit on those, can they?
Jumping jellyfish.
Oh no, adults fit on them.
On a jumping jellyfish? I don't think I've ever seen an adult.
I have ridden them numerous times.
Well, that kind of goes with your name, though. Of
course, yes.
With the kids.
I don't think I've ever seen an adult. It's usually like, what is it, hold four people or something?
Yeah.
I've only seen
2 people per bench, maybe. I'm not gonna look it up. Forget it. I'm just gonna. So
just something about shaft,
times, of course.
It's just a jelly. It's a jelly shaft. It's a little easier on them than the big one.
You gotta look after the brain.
Have you guys seen Jury Duty?
Is that a movie or a TV show?
The Jury Duty show?
No.
It's on Prime.
Okay. Are you saying it's worth watching?
We are having audio issues.
Oh.
It's the audio's cutting.
I haven't watched Prime since I finished off the 2nd season of Fallout.
That's a long time. That's been a while.
It's been a month or 2.
I see Ted Lasso's coming back with a season 5. He's going to be coaching a girls team.
4.
And
season 4.
I'm both excited and disappointed, because he had a very specific idea. He had an arc. It was 4 seasons. He was going to be 4 and done. But from what I understand, or is it 3? Sorry, 3 and done.
3.
Now the guy, I believe, that was the gruff guy that ended up, was the older guy that helped being a coach. He approached, I can't remember, Sudeikis, is that his name?
Sudeikis, yeah.
Sudeikis, with this idea, and he bought into it. So we'll see. I don't know. Karen watches something with that gruff English dude, and I'm like,
Shrinking.
is it Shrinking? I'm like, is that the dude from Ted Lasso? She goes,
Yeah,
like,
but he's soft spoken and quiet.
yeah,
and
he's
kind of,
so much different.
Yeah.
Because she likes Shrinking. I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Right now, she's powerballing through Nashville. So.
Oh, yeah, it's not for me.
She likes things that, let's say, like The Rookie. You don't have to think too hard. It's eye candy. It's not realistic. It's not. It's just eye candy. Yeah. It's fun, and sometimes I can't take that much fun. Though Nashville's got a lot of good-looking women singers, and they're all very talented, and blah blah. I've always been a fan of Hayden, whatever her last name is, Pantone or
yeah,
from Heroes.
Right? Ever since Heroes,
yeah.
All right, so
save the cheerleader, save the world.
Do you see anything other than Coco that you've heard announced that seems more family friendly? It just seems like everything is high intense, high.
I'm not
thrill.
I'm not up to date on what's coming.
Let's see. What we're gonna have a Monsters Inc. right? Now that may be family friendly coming to Florida, right? Into the studios. That's probably gonna be family friendly.
Yeah. Did they turn Rock and Roller Coaster family friendly by making it Muppets?
Only in theme. You're still gonna have height limits, right? Well, let's see. That Mike and Scully's doors or whatever that
door thing.
Mike and Scully to the rescue.
I could see that having a height limit. I don't think it's gonna be like Peter Pan. I think it's got a little more intensity than that.
Yeah, probably moves a little faster.
So there might be a height limit because of the elevation and all that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to follow, how we can separate the family in a family park.
Separate those dual income, no kids, millennials from their money.
Sure.
Because they're willing to spend it.
I expect this at Universal. I don't expect them to try to be family friendly. I really don't.
Supposed to be their niche. All right. Well, I'm gonna pull that up.
We didn't get quite
out of gas.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, exact. Thank you for that, because I didn't think we were quite as deep as I thought we'd go on this. We went everywhere,
except
kind of some tangent, but
except that we sound like we all agree that it's moving away from
everything's coming. That's not the family thing to do together, right? Some sort of enterprise, some entertainment. Walt said,
except for these small
watching the kids. Yeah.
Example. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you for that. And everybody out there, thank you for listening. And we enjoyed that you come along with us on all these stupid talks. And with that being said, have a good night.
You're being generous.
Thanks, Jasmine.